This video, I'm going to be philosophizing on aspirations. And aspirations have to originate in the self. They don't start from an objective external element of existence, but pertain largely to the self directing the mind and engaging self-directed processes of mind-body. We have to ideate in regards to aspiration. That means we have to generate ideas, and generate ideas that are valid and psychologically true and meaningful. Not necessarily objective truth, but bound to psychological truths of existence that have underlying subjectivo-objectivo relationships that, as a must, be good enough and necessary conditions engaging meaningful emotions. Intrinsic, innermost psychological needs bound to the highest organizations of organizing higher order cognition and emotion processes, self-directed perception, action, and behavior meaningfully engage, associated with our developmental ego needs for meaning processes that emerge and or connect prior existing meaning processes to development of meaningfulness processes as we aspire. And aspirations engage free agency towards our ideal self, but not just our ideal self, the imaginal, perspectival, forward-looking, direct perceptions we project into the future through a mentalizing and imagining of the individualized associations regarding not just, say, becoming more of a particular type of version of the self, a better version of the self, because that's not quite why we aspire. It's more to be able to doably do something and to engage a specific meaningful process. Say you aspire to be a musician or an artist, a painter, or you aspire to be a leading entrepreneur and you start a business. It's not that you want to be that individual per se, though that is an important element of that, to be able to factual constitute rather than merely think you have meaningfully constituted it, but have only thought you have perceived to constitute the aspiration, which regards doing something in relation to the self and actualizing not necessarily the self, but perception, action, and behavior, which prior existing ideations, cultivating a meaning process into more meaningfulness processes, allowances. And allowances through the cultivation of meaningful emotions in relation to these stepping stones of meaning that allow us to get there. So let's say that you aspire to write a book. You will have to, as a must good enough and necessary conditions, engage stepping stones of meaning that allow you to be able to write. So you have to be able to well calibrate your meaning interpretations to the capacity to draw out symbols from your mind and body onto a piece of paper, and also be able to type now as it's contemporaneous, and that's what it's required to be able to actually be a writer, is to be able to type. And actually for quite some time that's been the case. We no longer just scribe books, it's much more efficient and effective to type them out and engage in a typing process to a screen, or direct to a touch screen in which you engage a virtual keyboard and digitize the meaningful information through the press of digitized buttons. And the aspirations directly connect subjective processes of direct perception to what is materialized through that subjective-objective relationship. And that means it moves from an immaterial process into a material form. It's not just cognitive, it has a physicality to it. And we can embody meaningful information as we aspire and actualize specific perceptions, actions, and behaviors. And that's all I want to say for this video, so I hope you aspire on some meaningfulnesses.